is PJ, and thank you for joining us on Like It Is, your first episode of Like It Is. We're happy to have you guys join us today. We've been here. We've been here for you. This is PJ. We've been here for you, trying to update you, keep you guys updated with the Trayvon Martin case. And we're just happy that you've decided to follow us and hear what we have to say. We have two administrators that are also part of the Arrest George Zimmerman team, which is actually the Like It Is team. We have a gentleman by the name of Jordan-Garrett. He's a 19-year-old, feisty young man, and he is currently putting together a foundation which he would hope to create opportunities for young people, and he loves to express his feelings. Sometimes I'm sure you guys don't agree with what he has to say, but he's feisty, and we're happy that he's a part of the Like It Is team. And we also have a young lady by the name of Lesa. She's a mother and a writer, and her career has always been in children's services and financial affairs. And she's also very feisty. She goes by the code LCO. So whenever you see her comments on the various blogs that she puts together, she goes by the name LCO. And my name is PJ. I'm a writer. I've written several books, and I've been very passionate about this case, the Trayvon Martin whole catastrophe, this whole trauma that has been circling around this whole case, and not understanding for myself why George Zimmerman was not charged immediately. So this is what really prompted me to create and to develop an avenue for people who feel like me that an injustice was done to Trayvon Martin and also the family of Trayvon Martin. So we've created this blog, this radio blog, so that we could have an opportunity to talk to you guys, to hear what you guys have to say about the case. And I know that there are some of you who agree that there was an injustice, and I know that there are some of you out there who believe that George Zimmerman was in his right to do what he did. Personally, the Arrest George Zimmerman page was created as a one-sided page to be a tribute to Trayvon Martin, and also to express our outrage on the fact that George Zimmerman was not charged. So personally, from my point of view, I've already made up my mind that the young man was walking home from buying Skittles and a bottle of iced tea, and he was followed by somebody, George Zimmerman, who claims to have been the neighborhood watch person. He was followed by him because he was black. He had a hoodie on. He had the hoodie up because it was raining, and maybe he was walking, he's talking to his girlfriend. So basically when you're talking to your girlfriend, you're just talking to your girlfriend, and you're ambivalent and not really aware of what's going on around you because you're talking to your girl. So basically he may have been acting a little strange. I know when I'm talking to my honey, I'm just in a mood. And so who knows? Maybe he was in a mood. But Zimmerman, who knows what his day was like earlier, he decided that Trayvon Martin did not belong in his community. So he decided that he was going to call him in as a suspicious person and follow him. Now, I'm a young black guy. I'm 17 years old. I know that there's some widows out there, especially it's dark and it's raining, and there's a car following me. I'm thinking, okay, this guy is weird. okay, why is this guy following me? So he is nervous. He calls his girlfriend. He says, hey, this guy is following me. What should I do? The girlfriend says, run. He says, no, I'm a man. I'm not going to run. I'm just going to just do me. I'm going to continue to talk to you, and I'm going to go about my business, and maybe he'll get away. Zimmerman decides that, no, he doesn't want to get away. He slows down to look at him. Obviously, he slows down to look at him because he says that at one point he's looking at him. Well, of course the kid is looking at him. You're slowing down to look at him. So what is he supposed to do? Hello? So Zimmerman calls the police and says there's a suspicious-looking guy walking around. And then he says he has his hand on his hip. Well, maybe he was digging in his pocket to get some Skittles. He had Skittles in his pocket. Maybe he wanted to open up the Skittles. So if he had his hand in his pocket, that's okay. So I think it was at that point when Zimmerman felt that he had a gun, and not maybe he felt that Trayvon had a gun. I don't know. But Zimmerman knew he had a gun. So there was never any fear on Zimmerman's part because Zimmerman knew he had a gun. So at that point, if the gun wasn't loaded, he was going to load up that gun. Okay? So having the gun loaded, he calls the police. He tells the police what's going on. Police says, are you following? Zimmerman says, yes. They say, we don't need you to do that. And Zimmerman is like, okay, you don't need me to do that, but I am going to do this. This is what I want to do. I want to follow this guy because they always get away. And I got a gun. It's raining. The guy's young. He's skinny. He's a kid. I know I can take this guy. Okay? So what I believe happened is that he followed Trayvon. At some point, Trayvon decided, yes, I am going to run because this guy is in a car. He looks weird. He looks like a big guy. And I'm only so many feet away from my house. I could run at this point. When Zimmerman saw Trayvon running, because Trayvon was close enough to his house, Zimmerman thought the guy was going to get away. So he goes after him with his gun in his hand, which is what I believe. I totally believe he had the gun in his hand because if he thought at any moment that Trayvon had a gun, because he said he's reaching for his waist. So at that point, he in his mind thought that Trayvon may have had a gun. Okay? But because Trayvon may have ran, he felt that Trayvon was a punk, so he could take him with his gun. So he ran with his gun in his hand. Okay, now he says that Trayvon approached him, knocked him on the ground, bloodied up his head on the cement, which is totally impossible because how did he get from the cement to the grass? Did Trayvon actually pull this guy from the cement and put him on the grass so that he can be shot? No, I don't think so. There's no possible way that happened. Okay? Everything happened on the grass because Zimmerman attacked him on the grass with the gun out. Trayvon was crying and screaming for his life. Help me, help me, help me. If it was Zimmerman's only motive to just apprehend the guy and hold him until the police came, he didn't have to shoot him because he, at that point, must have known that Trayvon didn't have a gun, and if Trayvon did have a gun, he didn't have it out. So he had every opportunity not to shoot him, but he decided that he was going to shoot him. And I think the reason why he decided to shoot him at that point was because he couldn't get up to let the police know that he had apprehended the criminal and he's down on the ground. Okay, so if he had moved from that situation at any point, maybe he felt that Trayvon could have overpowered him. So what he decides to do with his warped way of thinking is to shoot him and shoot him dead. And now the people in the apartment, one of the witnesses said he gets up after he shoots him and he has his hands over his head. To me, you have your hands over your head because you're saying, oh, shit, look what I just did. I just shot this kid. So he doesn't know what to do. At the same time, he probably has the kid's blood all over his hands, puts that on his head, so it's probably Trayvon's blood that you actually see in those pictures, okay? And he's saying, oh, shit, look what I just did. So he makes up this whole story that he was crying for help, not even thinking that maybe there's a tape. He didn't know that all of this was going to be recorded on a 911 call. He felt that he could make up any story, and it was going to be his word against everybody else's, okay? Wrong. Wrong. And so this is where we stand right now. You have some people who want to believe that the good white guy was just defending his community from the bad black guy, okay? You have people, the media, some portions of the media, like Fox News, who has totally ripped Trayvon Martin apart, okay? They talked about his Twitter account. I have a son. My son is 19. He listens to rap music. He puts those lyrics on his Twitter account. He's a college student, pre-med. But he still puts those rap tweets on his Facebook page. And until he told me that those were actually tweets from rap songs, I didn't know what to think about my son because, first of all, he doesn't know that I'm following him on Twitter. When he found out that I was following him on Twitter, I had to ask him about some of the things that I saw, some of the comments that I saw, tweets that I saw on Twitter, and he told me those are just quotes from various rappers. Does it make him a thug? No. Did it make Trayvon a thug? No. Did it make Trayvon a thug that maybe he had a picture of himself with fake grills on? No. If his favorite rappers have grills and he wants to emulate them, then he's going to emulate them and he's going to do it in a public way. That doesn't make him a thug. I do not believe that Trayvon was a thug, not from the family that he came from. All of the other stuff that they said about him, that he was suspended in school and all that, how does Zimmerman know any of this? How does Zimmerman know that Trayvon is suspended from school? I would question if he did know. If he knew that Trayvon was suspended from school and he was in the community for a couple of days, then there's no way that he was a suspicious character. He was somebody that he may have seen. So the argument that Trayvon has Twitter tweets that emulate rappers, that make him appear to be a thug, all of these things are insignificant to the fact that George Zimmerman racially profiled Trayvon Martin because he was a young black man, and maybe there were other guys, black guys in the area previously that did rob other apartments, that did act suspiciously, that did end up being suspicious and should have been arrested. But those other guys were not Trayvon Martin. Trayvon Martin was an innocent person just going to the store and trying to get back to his father's girlfriend's house so that he could finish watching the basketball game. Nothing else matters. Zimmerman does not have a self-defense claim because Zimmerman wrongly prejudged Trayvon Martin, followed him, apprehended him, killed him. The fact that he was emulating rappers on his Twitter account, or the fact that he was suspended from school for 3 days, the fact that he has pictures, none of that matters. But what does matter is the fact that Zimmerman has Facebook, MySpace page where he actually says that he bragging about the fact that he has gotten away from assaults and other misdeeds in the past with the help of his father. Okay, he brags about that on a MySpace page. So basically, he feels that he can do anything, and he has immunity to it. He's almost like thinking he's a diplomat in this country where anything he does, he has immunity to, okay, and brags about it. I'm this guy that I can do anything, now even kill somebody, and I'm not going to get any time. That's how he feels. That's how he's walking around, feeling. He's duping everybody. He's duped his lawyer that initially is taking his case for free, which he's not now taking it for free because they've set it up an account where the lawyer, I'm sure, is billing cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching every hour, all the work that they're doing. The Facebook account, that's just another way to cha-ching, 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 because basically what's happening is every hour that Facebook account is up, they're going to get paid for having the Facebook account up. And really, to be honest with you, I have gone there to just check it out. What I think is the only people that are actually on that Facebook account are the people that work in his law firm. Those are the only people that are making comments on that account. There are very little bit of people that are actually active on that Facebook account because it's boring. And so is the other Facebook account. They're both boring accounts because anybody that would be associated with George Zimmerman and thinking that he is actually innocent must have a very, very low IQ, because logics will tell you that there's no possible way in the world that George Zimmerman is innocent of this crime. The three stooges that he had, the two stooges and him as the third stooges that he initially had as his defense team, they had tried to say that he was a victim of the shaken baby syndrome. The shaken baby syndrome. That had to be the funniest thing that I have ever heard. Those two stooges, they had me rolling every time they opened their mouth. Every time. They didn't know the stand your ground law. They misinterpreted it. They actually ended their little, I don't know what you call soap opera, with a press conference where they actually told everybody exactly what was on Zimmerman's mind. They said that Zimmerman was out of his mind, basically. They said that he was stressed out and he's out of his mind and we can't reach him. Those guys, I mean, those two lawyers initially, those two lawyers were just clowns. Now, the new lawyer that he has, he doesn't speak too much. He's not in the press that much, so he's keeping a low profile. So it's really hard, really, how to really analyze this lawyer. I have read that he does know the law very well, which, if he knows the law as well as they say he knows, he also knows that Zimmerman cannot claim that law. There's no way that he can claim the stand your ground law. So I don't know what kind of defense he's coming up with. And actually, what I think is that he has this social networking thing that he's doing with Twitter and Facebook, because he doesn't have a defense, so he's trying to figure out what people are thinking so that he can put a defense strategy together based on what people are thinking. Because let's face it, the jury's not going to be made up of people with PhDs, law degrees, people in the criminal justice system. They're going to be made up of people who are just teachers and mechanics and car dealers and just regular average people. So it doesn't matter how we analyze in this case, because you could have a PhD and try to analyze this case and come up with it right, which is that George Zimmerman is guilty. But it's how the average American is thinking about this case, and that's all going to be driven by the media, because that's how the average person thinks. They get their information by the media, and they're basically molded in their way of thinking based on how the media has them to think. So if the media says Zimmerman is a monster from outer space, then basically the jury's going to think in their mind when they see him that he's a monster from outer space. So logic really is not going to really play that much of a key in this situation. We're dealing with just regular average working people. And quite frankly, if you ask me, the only people that I really think that could actually be on the jury pool are people, the Amish, people in Pennsylvania, people in Ohio that have no idea what's going on. And I think that they would really be fair in terms of really looking at this case and interpreting it properly and rendering the right verdict. Those are the real people that I think that would really be good for the jury pool. Other than that, it's going to be very interesting, and like it is, we're going to be here, and we're going to give you a weekly update in terms of what this whole case is all about. We're going to break it down for you. We're going to analyze it for you, and we're going to keep you involved. We definitely want to hear from you and hear what you have to say about it. And we're just looking forward to doing this. I do want to make a word, put in a word for our sponsor, which is PJ Coble, and her book, Rise, Rejoicing in Spiritual Evidence. She is very outspoken and popular speaker, and I hope that you go to Barnes & Noble and pick up a copy of the book. We also have a website, which is the Like It Is website, www.weebly.com, where we'll also keep you informed and keep you updated in terms of what the case is all about and what we're doing for keeping you informed and keeping you updated on the case. And we're hoping that you guys will stay involved. And like it is, basically, as I said, we're dealing with this Trayvon Martin case, and we're going to deal with this case from beginning to end until we see the end. And if justice is going to be served, and if it's going to be served correctly, we will see that George Zimmerman will have a nice, comfortable bed, cot in prison. I don't know what prison he would go to in Florida, but hopefully, they already have something set up for him. I read recently that last time that he was in jail, waiting to be bailed out, his supporters gave him $1,000 for commissionary. So basically, he was living it up in prison, in jail. I'm sure he probably spent very little time actually in the jail. I'm sure that he was sitting down, yakking with the prison guards and the warden and having a jolly old time in jail. So I don't think it was, based on what he looked like when he was walking out, he didn't look like it was that stressful. He didn't look like he went through too much stress, okay? So hopefully prison won't be like that. And if he thinks that he's going to go over there and become the prison watch god, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that those guys in prison are going to allow him to walk around snitching. Okay, let him try it. I don't think that's going to happen. But we're going to, like I said, like it is, we're going to definitely keep you guys informed in terms of what's going on with the case. And we want to hear from you. We want your input. We want you to make us better. We are trying to change the name from Arrest George Zimmerman on the Facebook page. We've sent several requests to Facebook. We're trying to actually change the name to Like It Is, because that is really going to reflect what we're all about right now. Like It Is. Basically keeping you informed with everything that's going on in society, especially as it relates to injustices to Americans. This case is a case about an African-American young man, but that doesn't mean that our focus is only about African-Americans. No, we're not racist like that. This is a racial case. This is a case of profiling. Anybody who does not believe that this is a case of profiling, well, you're just blind. You just refuse to see the reality of what's going on in America. This is a case about profiling, period. George Zimmerman said that he had experienced African-American males maybe acting suspiciously in his community, and he had reported them on numerous occasions, about 40 occasions. When he saw Trayvon, he put Trayvon in that category. Why? Because he was a black man. It wasn't because he had on a hoodie, because everybody wears hoodies. It wasn't because he had on sweatpants, because everybody wears sweatpants. It wasn't because he was walking alone with a cell phone. Everybody does it. The only reason why Trayvon Martin was suspicious to George Zimmerman was because he was a black man, period. So if you don't believe that this is a case of profiling and that this is a case that has racial tones to it, then you are living in fantasy land. America is very much still a racist country. We have made a lot of progress. I mean, the fact that we have an African-American president, a great African-American president right now, does say that we've made some progress. But the fact that you can shoot down and kill a black man and not get arrested until people protest and riot and threaten to riot, and Sharpton comes into town, tells you that this is still a racist society. And the only way we're going to end this is for you, white America, to stop teaching your babies that black people are not worthy. And at the same time, black America, you have to teach your babies that white America is not worthy of your time and your energy and your effort. We have to get together as society and teach our babies that everybody in this country is worthy, everybody around the world is worthy, that we're all worthy of something. We're here for a purpose. I can't sit next to my child and look at a white child and tell my child, don't look at that child. Don't look at that person. That person is not worthy. We have to learn how to smile when we're dealing with each other. We have to learn how to just say hello. I mean, how hard is it to say hello? But anyway, that is going to be the end of our episode. I hope that you guys will join the Like It Is team. Next week, we're going to extend it to over an hour. This was just an introduction of what Like It Is all about. We're about talking to you guys and hearing what you have to say about what's going on in society, what you think about the Trayvon Martin case. I'm telling you what I think about it. The Arrest George Zimmerman Facebook page is a one-sided page. We believe that George Zimmerman should have been arrested, and we believe that he should stand trial, and second-degree murder charge is a good charge for him, and we believe that he will eventually be convicted and go to jail. So we hope that you enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.